one is getting break, some revenue. So my story was investment, and then you get some business. Also, the other business is not like that. You will get business from day one, but maybe not break even for a long time. So the different structures of businesses. One of the fundamental things I feel in businesses, two things. First thing is when you decide which business is one of the key decisions, and number two is then once it gets settled, what are the key? There are some paths that you take. The first one, I personally feel the mistake I did is that we all think you need an original idea when you start a business. Everybody thinks that. Something new, something original. It's a fallacy. The problem with the original idea is if you believe you are the only one in a planet of 4 billion people, 5 billion, who have come up with an idea, the probability of that happening is 1 in a billion. Cannot happen. Which means that somebody else, many people might have thought of their idea, but you never got to hear it because it collapsed also. Which doesn't make it a great idea after all. Right? So don't get obsessed with something innovative. अरे ये तो होता ही नहीं है, मैं करूँगा. Is illusion. So it's always better taking an idea which is an evolving stage, it's not a new, happened before. Google came, browsers were already there. Facebook came, social media, MySpace were already there. An evolving stage, but they do it in a better way. So it's still picking up. Nobody has monopolized it yet. That I personally learned. Okay? Now in my case, my beat-up idea gave me other business. That's a different thing. Got lucky. Led to something else. But it was not originally. I mean, it could have been complete failure in that. Okay. That's the first thing. Second thing is, once it gets settled, people get carried away in the branding game, in the positioning game. I feel, and Kevin Rollins or Michael Dell, one of them, Dell Computers, he once said that no business which gives value for money can ever go wrong in the long run. You just cannot go wrong. Even whether it's a pan ka shop, shoemaking, or because value for money, and why I say value for money, people focus so much on marketing, branding, positioning, and perception creation. It's fine, you need to do at some point. But if you lose focus of building an efficient company, whatever idea it needs to be efficient. Unless you are efficient, where will you give value? Okay, you want to start, Louis Vuitton and all that thing, don't go in that. You want to stick to a fundamental, whether I'm saying it applies to all the business. And I have very, very strongly believed that everybody who goes in that direction should think that way. So much idea we keep talking about. Whatever ideas, make it an efficient delivery system, execution system, and those are the two things which very much. And there's another angle, which is when the business become very large. Don't we talk philosophy? Why not? Have you watched a movie called Moneyball? Some of you might have watched. In the IPL first season, so Indian example. Rajasthan Royals won the IPL. Okay. Why did they win? Why not all the other teams which were richer? That's the business lesson. People get so carried away by stardom and heroism that ego doesn't let us think beyond that. That a process-driven, mature workflow organization can beat the best superstars. Be it game of cricket, be it a business. So there's a scientific way of running organization, and scientific requires data points, data analytics or probabilistic principles and mathematical calculations. So decision making is not from your brain. How should I say? Now today, at this number, Cybage today for me, okay, there's a head part, there's a science part, but there's a matter of heart as well. So for me, it's more like a theater. It's a theater. Just like this universe. Okay. Now when you look at the universe, you appreciate the actions that are happening. To appreciate any theater, you need to know what is going on in the mind of the director. Right? Any art of theater. If you watch a movie or something, you know what directors think. So some of us tend to believe that from our own personal experience, we can figure out what is going on in God's mind and how the universe is working. And the religious theories. In this we are deeply mistaken. We deeply mistaken. The closest to understanding what goes in God's mind is based on the statistical quantum physics principles today. That's the closest human beings have reached. Okay? So when I say statistical analysis data analytics, the hidden beneath those data analytical thought processes is a very, very strong belief that human mind on its own is incapable tool of learning all that you need to take the accurate decisions. Okay, I'll repeat that. This is a very fundamental lesson. Human mind on its own is an incapable tool of learning what all you need to learn to take right decisions. The power of data analytics is way more, is a collective cumulative knowledge than any brilliance of an individual person. We run cycles like that. On systems, not on people. Right? And that's where the science comes in. And so we say, if you want to treat people like human, first become inhuman, which means make them a data point, then only you will be fair. Now, it's a very, very deep subject. There's a lot of philosophy, there's a lot of science, there's a lot of art. I won't bore you all with that. But that is a mature stage of business. That is not the starting is heroism or luck. Then you come to different stage, then you come to this one. This is where we are today.
So, Arun, you talked about building an organization which is data-driven, process-driven. However, you have an organization which is in the business of doing software consulting services, which is primarily people-based, right? And I see a paradox here, and many of us who, not just IT, right? Whatever business it is, at the end of the day, you have to deal with people, and we had a brief discussion about this the other day. So it sort of seems like a paradox that you run an organization based on, in a data-driven way, but the whole machine works on people, where without the people, the organization doesn't exist. So how does that work together?
So see, so this is again a very deep subject, right? It's kind of, I'm repeating the last sentence I said, which is human being also are data points, and they have attributes. Somebody has communication skills or IQ, some technical skill. There's a combination of all those things which results in their execution, whatever they do in our industry, knowledge industry. So you have to look at not the person, but what he has, the capabilities, and those attributes you are actually processing for better decision making. How to give promotions, how to give raises, how to build value there, and how to control investments. Everything is, there are mathematical. So to give you an idea, we have a company of 4,500 people. There are 200 people, 200 for the last 7-8 years. They just build systems to run the company. 200 people who build systems just to run the company in a data-driven way. That's our R&D. It has nothing to do with delivery and service. So you can imagine the scale we are talking about. It's like total business intelligence, artificial intelligence we are running. It's like how you see in science fiction movies.
Yeah, the reason I asked that, Arun, is while all of us sort of understand and appreciate that things need to be process-driven and data-driven, at the end of the day, because we have to deal with people, so you want to do things in a particular way that may not suit with some of your team members because that hurts their ego, that hurts their aspirations. And how have you managed? That's what sort of I was trying to get to. That how have you managed to take care of that aspect, as well as make sure that the organization doesn't suffer because you have to cater to some of these